The Handmaid's Tale won Best Drama Series and a total of 8 awards, with Elisabeth Moss winning Best Lead Actress. See all the winners. Saturday Night Live won 9 awards, the most of any show, on a night where politics were front and center. Alec Baldwin and Kate McKinnon took supporting acting awards. HBO won the most awards of any network. Big Little Lies won for Best Limited Series and nearly swept its acting categories. And Veep won for Best Comedy, with Julia Louis-Dreyfus winning Best Actress in a Comedy. Politics, onstage and on-screen. Los Angeles, it was inevitable that a streaming service would win an Emmy for Best Drama at some point. But no one expected Hulu to get there first. Hulu's adaptation of Margaret Atwood's dystopian novel The Handmaid's Tale won TV's most prestigious prize here on Sunday night at the 69th Primetime Emmy Awards, beating out competitors from HBO, NBC and Netflix. Continue reading the main story. Even though Hulu has a smaller programming budget than competitors like Netflix and Amazon, it became the first streaming service to land a Best Drama victory. It was the capstone of a big night for a relatively new entrant in the awards arena. Elisabeth Moss, formerly of Mad Men, finally won her first Emmy for her portrayal as Offred in Handmaids, and the show also took home prizes for writing and directing. As the producers and cast gathered on stage to accept the award, they were joined by Ms. Atwood, who received a rousing ovation. The success of Handmaids, a story resonant with those who worry about women's rights in America, came during a ceremony that was decidedly political. Saturday Night Live also stormed the Emmys, winning the Best Variety Sketch category for the first time in more than 2 decades. The show's feature players swept the Supporting Comedy Acting Awards, with acting wins from Alec Baldwin for his portrayal of President Trump and Kate McKinnon, who played Hillary Clinton and Attorney General Jeff Sessions, among other characters. Mr. Trump was top of mind all night. From the Emmys stage, he was invoked again and again, and the comments were often highly charged. "I want to thank Trump for making black people #1 on the most oppressed list," Donald Glover said as he accepted one of his 2 awards for the FX comedy Atlanta. In his opening monologue, the host Stephen Colbert declared President Trump the biggest story of the year in television, and then introduced a surprise guest, the former White House press secretary Sean Spicer. The win by Handmaids is a blow to Netflix, which spent millions marketing its shows before Emmy voters and once again fell short of winning Best Drama despite the fact it claimed nearly half of the nominated shows in the category. And it was also a huge defeat for NBC, which finally hit pay dirt in the ratings with its hugely popular family drama, This Is Us. A broadcast network was in its first viable position to win the drama award for the first time in more than a decade, but a streaming service blocked the way. Here are the highlights from Sunday's ceremony. S.N.L. has a big night. Saturday Night Live has never been a favorite of Emmys voters, but this year was different. After pummeling President Trump nearly every week and scoring some of its highest ratings in years, S.N.L. took home several prestigious awards, including for Best Variety Sketch Show. Accepting that Emmy, the longtime executive producer of S.N.L., Lorne Michaels, said that he thought the show would never have a season as crazy, as unpredictable, as frightening, as exhausting or as exhilarating as the show's first in the mid-70s. "Turns out I was wrong," he said. Mr. Baldwin, as expected, won as Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy for his portrayal of Mr. Trump. "I suppose I should just say, 'At long last, Mr. President, here's your Emmy,'" he quipped. Ms. McKinnon repeated as Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy. This NBC late-night show had already swept the 2 Best Guest Actor categories at the Creative Arts Emmys, one for Melissa McCarthy and another for Dave Chappelle. Don Roy King added another award for S.N.L. later in the show, winning for Best Direction of a Variety Series.